Yes, thanks for staying with us on the Sports Show. Into the last quarter, Baz. I know I'm talking quick because we've got a bit to get through.
Yep.
This has been an interesting week in Adelaide. I was driving along listening to Triple M on Wednesday morning, and Chris Dittmar was talking to Mark Rasciuto about the siege that he's been under in the position he holds as a board member and as a commentator. And Caroline Wilson on Monday night on Footy Classified probably fired the first shot, saying that she didn't think it was appropriate that a board member's in the commentary team. I'd like to fire back in Rue's defence, saying, well, Caroline Wilson, so the First Lady of football, the expert of footy, never coached footy, never played footy. I thought journalists were supposed to report on the game. I thought that's what their role was. She's giving an opinion. She's giving opinions
and
now.
a few.
And quite a few. So I reckon maybe over next year, you and I listen to every show that she's on. And when she gets something wrong, we'll bring it up on the show and go,
pick her up.
oh, so no, he didn't go and play at that club, and no, that didn't happen by Gil McLaughlin, and that one didn't happen over there. I reckon people that are throwing lots of rocks want to make sure that their backyard's squeaky clean. I reckon, Caro, you've missed a couple, and I reckon this is a bad miss. So I listened to Rue's commentary in the game, and all he said at half-time was, this is interesting to watch whether Pike stays with the same group in the same positions, or they change game style and change positions. He didn't talk about Pike under siege. It was just a really smart, intelligent comment. And I think across the journey, he's been very good with his commentary. I don't see the problem. I can't see why him commentating, or James Brayshaw commentating as the president, or Eddie Maguire commentating. I reckon it's because they've got a position we can say, shouldn't be doing it. I like the insight.
Well,
and if he's brave enough to say it...
That's a very good point. That's the word that I was going to bring up, because in the showdown, when Port demolished them in the second half, Rue came on as the boundary rider and said that this is embarrassing, the Adelaide Football Club. And one of the commentators said, now, coming from a position of a director of a football club, that's a pretty strong whatever. But Rue said, well, how would you say it? How would you say it? Now, one of the comments came back and said, that's why we pay you the big bucks, mate, because we like what you bring. And I agree. I think he's a very good boundary type slash commentator.
He's terrific, mate.
Because he doesn't care whether it's Crows or who. He will say it as he sees it.
And I reckon he sees it the way most people want to hear it too. But if you're talking about we keep trying in the media to get more insight. You know, we're in the change rooms. We've got the umpires mic'd up. We've got so if they're saying they want to have all this insight, suddenly we've got a couple of people that can give us some really good insight. And no, we don't want them.
No, well that's ridiculous. Because I think he's very smart. I think he's a smart man. And I think he's a good caller. I think he's a good caller because he calls it exactly how he sees it. There's no fluff. There's no, you know.
In fact, I wouldn't be opposed to a bit more. I reckon Chris Judd's fantastic. I love listening to Juddy and the insight that he brings. And well measured. I thought he was harshly criticised for the comment he made about the trainer wheels when he's talking about Teague. At the time, that was a fair comment. I think a few games later, you go, well, okay, his trainer wheels are off. He's doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, well, those training wheels, mate, they wouldn't have come from Juddy himself.
No.
That's the spin from the club at the time.
But it's a fair comment at the time, isn't it?
Exactly right. But he wouldn't have. It wouldn't have just been Chris Judd.
So why are we baking Juddy for that? I just don't reckon it's right to bake him.
No. I think they're easy targets.
Mate, the Crows and the Power was a difficult weekend for them. We expect them to... Well, you're pretty close to it.
Tough week
so
at the club.
On that at the moment, how do you reckon the club is this week? It's got to be flat. Tough week. Fan numbers are down a little bit.
Tough week.
So the response is a win.
Yeah, massively tough week. And quite rightly. I mean, purely because they got built up by two very good wins, Essendon away at Marvel, where their record against Essendon has been poor, and then to touch Sydney up and really touch them up too. They gave them a good, fair old spanking. So that gives the supporters enormous confidence. And then Adelaide getting knocked off on the night before. Whoa! Now all you got to do is beat North Melbourne. You're in. That door, unfortunately, has been opened so many times in the last 6 weeks for Port Adelaide to walk into the 8. There's the door open, in you go, and they have not been able to do it. What is the problem? You know,
hard to know.
Nobody knows either, Phil. That's the other thing. Same with Adelaide.
You're closer to it than me. I'm sitting a long way back. So as I said in Bevo's thing, I said, let's see, everyone has to take ownership on a loss.
Yeah, they do.
It's never just one player, but the coach always wears it the most. I'm interested in this, just quickly. Last year, no changes with coaches at all. So we're all happy with the coaches last year. 5 sacked so far, potentially 2 more. So there could be 7 coaches in a turnover of 1 year, which you think is a little outrageous. I'm just wondering why we're getting all the stones from Victoria thrown over here. How bad Crows and Power, both with a chance still to get in the 8, by the way.
Yeah, that's right.
Melbourne are second to bottom at the moment. Now, I'm not suggesting for a minute that Simon Goodwin gets the sack. That's not what I'm saying at all. So please don't misread that. But they were supposed to be in the grand final this year, in the prelim final last year.
Yeah.
We're not bagging Melbourne over here at all.
Well, there's been nothing said about
no, but there's been nothing.
Victoria.
No, that's what I'm saying. So why are they throwing all these rocks over at us all the time?
Because I think we're easy targets from there.
All right,
Quite
okay.
frankly,
I've had a little,
I agree, mate. I agree wholeheartedly.
I just don't understand why, when we're a chance, both teams to be in the 8, we're copping it, and a team that's second and bottom's not getting too much.
From the prelim final.
Anyway, that's how it is. Time for us to go. Hope you've enjoyed the show, everybody. We'll look forward to your company next week. Bye for now.